Hey everybody, welcome back to Millennial Homesteading. I'm Joe. It's been a while since we've done a video, but today I want to do a little video about an adapter that we got for a manual tire changer that makes it much easier and safer to change tires on aluminum rims. Now, if you've ever used a tire changer, a manual tire changer like this, you know that they're really not meant for aluminum rims. They're meant for steel rims because steel rims are tougher, they don't scar as easy, and the way that the tooling is set up, it's definitely a contact job, which means the tooling, the metal tooling, the bar that comes with these contacts the rim, and that's how you would take the tire off and put the tire on. It doesn't really work very well for aluminum rims, especially if you care about the way your rims look. So, we got an adapter here. We got it on Amazon. There are different versions of this tool, but this is the one that I've got. This is cheaper. There's definitely ones out there that are better. This is not the end-all be-all, but it works for what I need it for. The couple times and maybe twice in 10 years that I changed tires. So it has a duct bill, which didn't come with this duct bill, but if you're gonna get one, I definitely recommend the red duct bill because it has this lip down here that hugs the rim underneath. That's going to be important in a little bit. You'll see. It comes with a center tube and some adjusting screws. I'll show you how it works, and we'll get into it. First thing you need to do is you need to get the air out of your tire, and you need to break the bead on your rim. All right. I'm not going to show you how to do that. This is already done to this tire. There's 1,000 videos on YouTube about how to use a manual tire changer to do that. But I'm going to start here because this is where the tooling for that adapter comes into play. So you take your tire, you put it on there, you make sure that you got your stud or your bar here, that way the tire doesn't spin. Most of these adapters will come with a centering cone, which is important because the manual tire changer only comes with one of those, and that's going to scratch your rim up pretty bad. You don't want to use that. So you take the centering cone, and it's a nice snug fit over top of that center bar. You center your tire up the best you can. You tighten it down. Alright, you don't gotta go crazy hard. Alright, you're not trying to reshape the wheel or anything. You're just making it snug, the way it doesn't move. Alright? Now, what I have to do is I go around and I lubricate everything. Now, whether you're using this adapter or not, lubricating your bead and your rim is going to make it so much easier to get this tire off. And you'll see that. Now, I don't always lubricate the bottom bead, and you'll see that there's a little bit of a fight when I go to get the bottom of the tire up over the rim. Well, we'll get to that. So, grab a little bit more compound here. We'll get this thing all jellied up. Now, if you've never broken a bead off the tire before, the first step, the most important step, is always getting the air out of it. What I do is I take the stem, there's a cord inside here. Looks like that, all right? It just unscrews. That's the tool for it. It's called a Schrader valve tool or a tire stem tool, all right? That's the valve inside there. That's what allows air to go in and stay in. And if you push down that center, air comes out. So take the air out of the tire. Now, I have aluminum rims. These are rims off my 2014 Ram. They're 20-inch rims. This tire and this tool does it no problem. It's not as easy as one of those big pneumatic and electrical ones, but I don't have that kind of money or space in this garage to work on those. So I work with what I got. So I laid down an old work shirt here so I don't scratch up the backside and front side of my rims. When you bust off your tires, when you bust the bead on there, try not to do it directly over top of your valve stem. If you have sensors and that foot goes in there, it'll break the sensor off, or it can mar up the backside of it. It's just problems that you don't want. So start on either side of it or anywhere else on the tire, but do not do it directly over top of that stem. Try to avoid it at all costs. So let's get down to the adapter. Take the adapter, and this slides right over top of that jack screw. So we set this, that way the bottom lip of the duct bill sits underneath the rim. That's nice and comfy. Now, the way I was taught, and I've worked for a tire company before, I'm not going to say which one because I don't work there no more, and I don't want to work there ever again. But nothing wrong with working for a tire company. I put the duckbill right over top of the sensor. Reason being is when this tire comes off, this center has to go down and in, and I don't want that pressure on that sensor. So if I take the tire and I ride it up over top of that sensor, it's not going to put any pressure on it. So we get it centered to where we want it. We tighten down our set screws here. That way none of this will move. These are 19 millimeter bolts. They're all metric. So they're 19 millimeter heads, probably 16 millimeter screws themselves. But it's a 19 millimeter wrench that you're going to need. Okay? Now it's going to rotate freely around the rim. This is all plastic. This is not going to mar it up. There's an aluminum one with pads under it. I don't like that because they kind of twist and bind, and they don't always stay still. The duckbill that came with this is this style. As you can see, there's no lip under here. So what happens is when you put pressure on there, it tends to pop out. And I don't like that because then you gotta rehook the tire and everything else. It's more of a hassle than what it's worth. So, now that we've got this started, you're gonna need a few things. You're gonna need some tire spoons. These do not come with the adapter, unfortunately. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this so we're just under there. We're going to push down. We're going to hook that top bead. Now I am just to the side of the sensor because I just saw it move. So we're going to hook that bead and we're going to pull that up. We're going to take our tire bar and we're going to put it just like that. Alright, and now what we're going to do is we're going to slightly pull and we're going to make sure that it's not coming off of that bead there. Yep, and it did. That's okay, that happens. We just reset and try it again. Alright. Go in, grab that bottom lip, and bring it up. Sometimes that happens. You know, this isn't a foolproof process, not by any means. This is not a tire machine. This is a manual tire changer that you gotta kind of just, you gotta feel it out. Sometimes you need 2 bars to keep the tire up. So we grab that. Grab that there. Now this is the 4th tire I'm doing on this today. This is the 8th tire I've done total for this adapter. This is probably the 30th or 40th tire I've done on this stand together. But all things considered, it makes it a lot easier. Alright. So now our tire is up on top of our duckbill. All we gotta do is grab the bar and just walk. Alright. We're more than halfway around. We can take our bars out. That tire's not popping back now. And we just walk. Boom. Tire's up. There. That was the first one. Now it's time for the second one. Same thing. We start with our duckbill just over top of that sensor. We grab our spoon, tire bar, spoon, whatever you want to call it. And we do the same thing. We use the hook end to go under and grab it and pick it up over top of that duckbill. Not hard to do. Once you've done it a couple times, you can feel for it. It's much easier to do this with a machine where all you got to do is press foot pedals. But some of us don't have that luxury. And you know what? I'm okay with that. Grab one more bar just to make sure that doesn't slip back off of there. Just in case. Same thing. Now, because this bottom bead's not lubricated, it's going to fight me, but it's still going to come off and it's not going to do any damage. It's just going to sound really bad. I can take this one out. Alright, tire's now off the rim. Just go away. One, dismount the tire. Hang tight, we'll do the other ones. Alright, we're back. We got the new tire all compounded up. Same thing. We take our duckbill and we start right over top of my sensor. You can see my sensor right there. These are original sensors for the rims. Luckily, I've never had to replace them. So we take our tire, and we're going to look for a few things on it. One of them is going to be dots. There's a little yellow dot. You probably can't see it from all the way over there. See if I can move it. Ow. There's a little yellow dot right here. That indicates the lightest point of the tire. Not all tires are going to have these, but tires who are pre-balanced or pre-measured in their weight will tell you that this is the lightest point of the tire. Now it's going to go at the heaviest point of the tire, which is normally right at the stem. So in short, yellow dot goes in line with your valve stem. Red dot indicates the widest point of the tire. So we pop it on there. Both beads have been pre-compounded. That what we call, I've always called it bead grease. So you take it on there and you just push. You're not always going to be able to do this with tires, but on the larger tires, yeah. Thin wall tires, no, they kind of fight because there's not as much meat here, so they're going to be more tougher. They're going to have more structure. So we line up our yellow dot. We grab our bar again. We're not going to need the tire springs for these normally. We just hold it there and we just walk it. Make sure that's lined up. We just walk it around. Once you get about halfway, you can let go. And just walk. These need to go down more. They need to sit in the center because the center allows it to flex more. So once they're in the center, just grab the skin, push them up. They're not sticking out. Tires on the rim. Easy peasy. Like I said, not as quick or as easy as having a tire machine, but not all of us have the ability to have a tire machine. And like I said, for the handful of times that I changed tires in a decade, which is not much, mostly just myself and my wife, maybe a friend or two, it's not worth having a $4,000 machine sitting in my shop. That pops off. Leave the tire on the machine while you're airing it up and while you're seating the beads. Reason being, for whatever reason, if this tire pops off of the rim, you don't need a rim and a tire going to the ceiling. Alright? This is going to hold the rim. Worst case scenario, this just pops off the bead, doesn't go flying. So, let's air it up, and we're going to seat those beads. The bottom one's going to kick in first, and then the top. Normally right around 20 PSI, you don't got to go crazy high. If for whatever reason your tire does not seat, stop at like 20 PSI, alright? You don't need to go above that normally. There's something wrong. It's not riding up or it doesn't have enough juice or something. You don't need to go crazy high because the higher pressure, if this thing pops off for whatever reason, you don't need that kind of pressure blasting back at you. A lot of people get hurt doing this stuff. On the 17 PSI, that was the bottom bead. You look right here, you're going to see the top bead go in. And I'm going to look away when it does it. That way, if any of that compound comes out, any of that compound stuck there, it doesn't splash up in my face. Ear protection and eye protection is always good when doing this, along with steel toe shoes. Obviously, you see I'm not doing that, but do as I say, not as I do, which is not the right way to be. All right, we're going to go ahead and put our valve back in there, and we're going to inflate to 40 PSI. Now, because the beads are already seated on the tire, normally, if this tire were to deflate, let's say you were fumbling around with the valve and you couldn't get it in, normally that bead won't pop back off. Occasionally, on like heavy load tires, it will because the sidewalls are so thick. But normally, once them beads are seated, it won't give you a moment's trouble, especially for passenger car tires. So I'm going to take this up to about 40 PSI because 35 is my warning light kickoff. So I'm going to take these up to about 40, which is normally about what I run. These are the Ranger Thunder tires. They're all-terrain, all-season tires. If you look real close, you might be able to see where you can put studs in them for snow tires. I'm not doing that. This is literally just an everyday tire for me. The only reason I need these is because I have a rock and gravel driveway, and in the wintertime and in the rainy season, it turns to mud. We also have a cabin up in the mountains that you know, if I need to get access to, I need to move. I need to be able to rely on my traction. So, but hopefully, seeing that adapter has been helpful for you guys. Beaver makes these on Amazon. If you look for manual tire changer adapter, you'll find them. I think that one was like maybe 30 or 40 bucks. It's not much. And they came with everything that you saw minus the red duckbill. It came with all the tubing, the brackets, that black duckbill, and the centering cone. That was the kit. It's not exactly a tight fit, but it's close enough to where it will work. Hopefully this has been helpful for you guys. Hopefully I'll have more videos coming out later. Catch y'all later.